Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Kansas City Chiefs have released wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who has played for the Chiefs for the last 2 seasons, has played 33 games in the last 2 seasons, with over 1,000 receiving yards for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2 seasons. This year was not that great for him in only 16 games with 10 starts at 315 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. But Marquez was starting to figure things out in the playoffs, but honestly, I think if the Chiefs weren't in a position where they have to, re-sign Chris Jones, they want to bring back Chris Jones, and they also have to pay L'Jarius Sneed, who they just franchise tag. They're going to have to give him money from the franchise tag. So when they have two very important defenders with how big that Chiefs defense was for them in the postseason, not only in the postseason, but in the regular season as well, they held down Miami's offense, which people hate on Tua Tagovailoa and that offense for Miami, but that's a great offense. I think for that wild card game, everybody is on Tua and the way the Dolphins played, but I think it's more of a Kansas City Chiefs defensive thing, and how dominant the Chiefs are and their defense, how dominant their defense are, how dominant their defense is. And they held the Miami Dolphins team, even if Tua is not that great of a, he's not that clutch in the playoffs, still with how good they were on offense this past season, held them to 7 points. Their defense made some big plays in the Buffalo game as well. And their defense was great in the Baltimore game in the AFC Championship as well. They had a fumble recovery, they had an interception, and their defense stepped up in the Super Bowl as well. But Marquez Valdes-Scantling was better in the playoffs. He had 8 receptions for 128 receiving yards with 1 touchdown in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl, he had 3 receptions for 20 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. The AFC Championship game, he was very solid in the AFC Championship game. 2 receptions for 38 receiving yards. Had the game-winning diving catch to end the game and seal the W for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was not bad against Buffalo with 2 receptions for 62 receiving yards. So in that last 3 games of the playoffs, the first game against Miami, he really wasn't that good at all. Only had 8 receiving yards. But in the last 3 games in the postseason, he had a total of 120 receiving yards and 8 receptions in 3 games with 1 touchdown. That's not even the number 1 wide receiver or even the number 2 wide receiver on the team. Obviously, you got Rice at number 1. I would think Justin Watson is the number 2 guy in that offense, and obviously Kelsey, he's the tight end, but they're Mahomes is looking at him too. So if you look at the offense, Valdes-Scantling, if you want to even go to Isaiah Pacheco as well, he's not even the 3rd or 4th option in the offense. So I think for what he did in the postseason with how bad he was struggling in the regular season, I don't think he was bad at all in the postseason. And I think the Chiefs would give him another season if they didn't have to pay all these other guys like Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed and bring back these guys who could try to compete for a three-peat. And I think it truly you would see him stay on this roster if they weren't dealing with that. But also for the Chiefs, they're looking at adding a wide receiver this offseason, whether it's through the draft or it's free agency or the trade market. So, Marquez Valdes-Scantling's playing time will go down. Obviously, Kadarius Toney's probably going to get cut too, so both Marquez and Kadarius will be gone. But still, I think that there will be not only one wide receiver, probably multiple wide receivers added in this offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think that to that point, I think his playing time would go down if the Chiefs kept him. So it's great. It's a good move for the Chiefs to save money. They have to prioritize bringing back L'Jarius Sneed and Chris Jones, which is going to be hard to do with a short amount of money, and also try to bring in some wide receivers at some point of the offseason. So let me know your thoughts on the roster move for the Kansas City Chiefs in the comment section, and peace out.